Netflix has been doing a lot over the years to try and make content that would appeal to everyone who watches their platform. Just look at this year alone and all the hits that they've had. Army of the Dead, Squid Games, Lost in Space, Cobra Kai, the list just goes on and on. But one that many people of a certain genre are looking forward to is Ginny and Georgia Season 2. Season 1 was something special in the eyes of viewers, and now they want to know what happens next in the story. So allow us to show you Ginny and Georgia Season 2, everything we know. Number 9. Ginny and Georgia. Never seen this series before? Don't worry, we got your back. Ginny and Georgia could have been an excuse for a Gilmore Girls-style TV show, a tender mother-daughter drama made for easy viewing and digestible life lessons. But instead, showrunner Deborah J. Fisher and creator Sarah Lampert stuffed the series to the brim. Episode after episode is an exercise in whiplash in a good way. The title characters cycle between love interests, varying degrees of deception, new friendships, a mayoral election, and even criminal activity. And you thought it was just another teen drama, didn't you? Nope, it's more than that. Ironically, viewers didn't seem to mind at all, mainly because it's a show that isn't like various others out there, and thus people wanted to see more. And given how things ended in Season 1, the desire for answers and to see the characters in action are more appealing. While the show hasn't done record numbers in terms of viewing, it did go and enter the top 5 of popular shows in 2021 as a whole for a time. And that is why in April, they renewed it for Season 2. Thus guaranteeing it would continue in some fashion. But how the story continues is what many people are wondering. But the end of Season 1 did provide us with many clues. Number 8. My Little Runaways. Season 1 ended with everyone asking a major question. Did Ginny and Austin really run away? Just as important as that is where they are planning on going, because obviously that would change the whole complexion of the second season. Thankfully, we do have one answer. In an interview with TV Line, they cleared up the confusion about where Ginny is going. When she's packing her bag, she grabs the book that Zion gives her. And if you were paying attention when Zion arrives and is giving her the book, you know that he included an address. He has that secret coded message in it, and she finds out that it's his address to his Boston apartment. So I'm thinking it's pretty reasonable to assume that Ginny might be headed towards Zion. That would be a good twist to open up Season 2 with, and no doubt will play out in ways that many wouldn't expect. Number 7. Mang. For many fans, it was heartbreaking when Mang broke up over Ginny's big secret. On the night before Max's big play, she found out that her twin brother Marcus was hooking up with her new best friend Ginny. However, Ginny had never once mentioned anything about Marcus, and she was dating Hunter. Max felt betrayed, as you might expect, and things went south from there, as they always do. When she brought it up to the group, Ginny assumed it was Abby who told Max because she saw the two kiss privately. It was then that Max found out that Abby also knew about this secret, so from then on, it was Max and Nora against everyone else. So will Mang get back together? It's unlikely that they'll do it full stop, especially with the situation with Ginny and Austin possibly heading to Boston. But the question is solid, and the plotline will no doubt be touched upon in some way, because it's too good not to come back to in some way. Number 6. Georgia's past. Ginny and Georgia could essentially be seen as a murder mystery because of Georgia's past with killing. It is assumed early on that Georgia killed her ex-husband Kenny by crushing up a poisonous flower in his morning smoothie. But as the series goes on, it looks like Georgia married an older man as a teenager to regain custody of Ginny when she was a toddler. Shockingly, in order to get out of that marriage, it looked like Georgia killed him as well by crushing up pills in his drink. With 2 dead ex-husbands behind her, will Paul find out his new fiance's past? Or just as important, will she have to find a reason to go and kill Paul? Georgia is absolutely a wild card, and with her children running away from her, you could argue that she's going to be more unhinged than ever. And if that is the case, there's going to be a lot of things happening in Season 2. Especially with number 5, Gabriel and His Investigation. When Kenny dies unexpectedly and Georgia flees the scene after his death with all of his money, Kenny's first wife assumes foul play is involved. She hires a private investigator, Gabriel, to look into Georgia Miller's life and to pull up dirt from her past. Georgia always feels like someone was watching her when she moved to Wellsbury, and when she finally found out who Gabriel was and what he was doing, she kept him at an arm's length. By the end of the season, he found out that Georgia wasn't just married to Kenny, she was also married to another man who died unexpectedly. What will he come up with next? And just as important, what will that lead him to do? Will he just spill the beans to his client? Will he confront Georgia and try and get her to come clean about everything? Then there's Georgia. What will she do in order to protect herself if she finds out what Gabriel has figured out? Good question. One among many in regards to this plotline. And there is another way this could all play out. Number 4. Moving? Georgia has moved around her entire life, and that didn't stop when she had kids. If anything, she moved around more when she had children in order to run away from her demons. When the family moved from the South to New England, it was an eye-opening transition, but a welcomed one. Ginny and Austin judged Wellsbury, but ended up falling in love with it. Sadly, Ginny and Austin's lives fall apart as Georgia's is getting better, and it begs the question, will the Millers move yet again? We already know 2 of the family are gone and heading somewhere, but if they're forced back together, it could raise some hard questions about their locale, and thus raise even more tensions between mother and daughters. Number 3, Ellen. Ellen was Georgia's first friend in Wellsbury. She was her neighbor, her friend, and the mother of Ginny's best friend. Ellen was Georgia's only ally, but when Ellen found out that her son was sleeping with Georgia's daughter, things got tense, especially when Georgia wasn't shocked when she was told it was happening. Knowing that Georgia had this kind of information and didn't tell her about it made Ellen angry. Will they ever make up, or will they go head-to-head in season 2? And how will this affect both Marcus and Ginny when the time comes? Number 2, Joe and Georgia. In a series of flashbacks, viewers find out that Georgia and Joe actually knew each other. When Georgia was on the run as a teenager, she ran into Joe at a truck stop. Joe was on a school trip and was eating a sandwich on a picnic table. He saw a lonely Georgia standing there and offered half of his sandwich to her. They had a sweet conversation and appeared to have an instant connection. Georgia told Ginny it was the nicest someone had ever been to her. When they moved to Wellsbury, it became obvious that Joe, the cafe owner, was the same Joe that Georgia met as a teen. Joe had clear feelings for Georgia, but every time he tried to act on it, he was interrupted. Will that change in season 2? Could it go the route that some hope happens, or will there be a twist that keeps them apart once again? Number 1, the cast on season 2. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Fisher noted by saying, "We want to keep talking about Ginny and Georgia for a very long time." Lampert added, "We can't really talk about season 2, but what I will say is, where we always wanted season 1 to end was with Ginny protecting her mom, but by doing so, having blood on her hands." Lampert also said to OprahMag.com, "Season 1 really did feel like a season 1. We just started uncovering some of the layers for all characters across the board that we want to dive into. Deb and I are hoping we get the chance." It seems like they will, but only time will tell for sure. We'll just have to wait and see what season 2 of the show brings us in terms of content. So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at Ginny and Georgia and how things might just go in season 2 when it comes around? Are you one of the people who are most excited for this show to get its second season? What do you personally want to see from both the sisters and their entourage? What surprises do you think are in store for everyone? Let us know below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.